Have you ever had your heart shattered and mended in the same night? That's what happened to Olivia Morgan last Christmas Eve, when a humiliating rejection turned into the most unexpected gift of her life. If you've ever believed in second chances or holiday miracles, this story might just restore your faith. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming true stories that remind us love comes in the most unexpected packages. Olivia checked her reflection in the restaurant window one last time before pulling open the heavy glass door. The hostess greeted her with a practiced smile, and Olivia felt her stomach twist into knots as she gave the name for her reservation. "I'm meeting someone. The reservation should be under James Harrington." The hostess nodded, consulting her tablet. "Yes, Mr. Harrington is already seated. Right this way." Olivia followed, smoothing down her emerald green dress, the one her best friend Claire had insisted brought out her eyes. She'd spent hours getting ready for this blind date, something she'd sworn she'd never do again after the last disaster. But Claire had been relentless. "James is perfect for you," she'd insisted. "He's smart, successful, and actually wants a family someday. Plus, he's not terrible to look at." At 34, Olivia had started to feel the weight of time passing. Her friends were all married with children, while her own dating life had become a series of disappointments. She'd built a successful career as a pediatric physical therapist, but came home each night to an empty apartment that felt increasingly hollow, especially during the holidays. The hostess led her through the restaurant, which was decked out in tasteful Christmas decorations, twinkling lights, garlands of evergreen, and the soft sounds of holiday music playing in the background. They approached a table where a man in a tailored suit sat scrolling through his phone. He looked up as they approached, and Olivia's first thought was that Claire hadn't exaggerated. James was handsome, with dark hair and sharp features. "Your date has arrived, Mr. Harrington," the hostess announced, pulling out Olivia's chair. James stood, offering a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Olivia, I presume? Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you too," Olivia replied, settling into her seat as the hostess handed them menus and departed. An awkward silence fell between them as James returned to his phone, typing something quickly before setting it face down on the table. "Sorry about that. Work never stops, even on Christmas Eve." "What is it you do again?" Olivia asked, trying to remember the details Claire had shared. "Investment banking. We're closing a major deal before year-end." He glanced at his watch. "I can probably spare about an hour for dinner, if that works for you." Olivia felt her smile falter. "Sure, that's fine." The waiter appeared, and James ordered an expensive bottle of wine without consulting her. When the waiter asked if they wanted to hear the specials, James waved him off. "We're in a bit of a hurry. We'll just order now." Olivia hadn't even opened her menu yet, but James was already ordering a steak for himself. When he finished, he looked at her expectantly. "I'll have the salmon, please," she said, handing the menu back to the waiter. As soon as the waiter left, James's phone buzzed. He checked it immediately, frowning at whatever he saw. "So, Claire tells me you work with kids?" "Yes, I'm a pediatric physical therapist. I help children with mobility issues, developmental delays, injuries." "That sounds rewarding," James interrupted, clearly not interested in the details. "Not exactly lucrative though, is it?" Olivia blinked, taken aback by his bluntness. "I do well enough. And I love what I do." "That's nice," James said dismissively. "I've always believed people should follow their passions, even if it means financial sacrifices." The conversation continued in this vein, with James alternating between checking his phone and asking questions that felt more like an interview than a date. He talked at length about his condo in the financial district, his investment portfolio, and the vacation home he was considering in Aspen. When Olivia tried to share stories about her work or her interests, he would nod politely before steering the conversation back to himself. By the time their entrees arrived, Olivia was already calculating how quickly she could finish her meal and make her escape. She'd just taken her first bite of salmon when James's phone rang. "I need to take this," he said, not bothering to excuse himself as he answered. Harrington speaking. Olivia ate in silence while James discussed profit margins and quarterly projections. She was contemplating ordering dessert just to prolong the inevitable end of the evening when James ended his call and turned to her with a sigh. "Look, Olivia, I'm going to be straight with you," he said, folding his napkin and placing it beside his half-eaten steak. "You seem nice enough, but I don't think this is going to work out." Olivia froze, her fork halfway to her mouth. "I'm sorry." "It's nothing personal," James continued, reaching for his wallet. "But I'm looking for someone who fits a certain lifestyle. Someone who understands the demands of my career and can be an asset at corporate functions. Someone more ambitious." Olivia felt her cheeks burn with humiliation. "You're rejecting me? In the middle of dinner? On Christmas Eve?" James had the decency to look slightly uncomfortable. "I thought it would be kinder not to waste your time. The holidays can be difficult for single people, and I didn't want to give you false hope." He placed several bills on the table, more than enough to cover the entire meal. "Dinner's on me, of course. Consider it a Christmas gift." He stood, buttoning his jacket. "I hope you find what you're looking for, Olivia. Merry Christmas." And with that, he was gone, leaving Olivia sitting alone at a table for two, surrounded by happy couples and families celebrating the holiday. She sat there, stunned, as tears threatened to spill over. She blinked them back furiously, refusing to cry in public. The waiter approached cautiously. "Is everything all right, miss? Would you like me to box up your meal?" Olivia forced a smile. "No, thank you. I think I'm finished." She couldn't bear the thought of taking home a doggy bag from the worst date of her life. "Perhaps some dessert then? Our chocolate peppermint cake is quite popular for the holidays." Before Olivia could decline, a commotion from a nearby table caught her attention. A little girl, perhaps 5 or 6 years old, had knocked over a glass of water, and it was dripping onto the floor. "I'm sorry, Daddy," the child said, her voice trembling. "It's okay, Emma," a man's voice replied gently. "Accidents happen." Olivia turned to see a man about her age dabbing at the spill with napkins while the little girl watched with wide, worried eyes. The man had kind eyes and a tired smile, and something about the gentle way he reassured his daughter made Olivia's heart ache. "Sir, please allow me," the waiter said, hurrying over with a cloth. "Thank you," the man said, looking embarrassed. "We're still working on our coordination skills, aren't we, Em?" The little girl nodded solemnly, her blonde curls bouncing. She was wearing a red velvet dress with white tights, and despite the water stain now spreading across the tablecloth, she looked like she'd stepped out of a Christmas card. As the waiter cleaned up the spill, Olivia noticed there was no one else at their table, no mother, no other children. Just a father and daughter having Christmas Eve dinner together. The waiter returned to Olivia's table. "About that dessert, miss?" "Actually," Olivia said, making a sudden decision, "I think I will have the chocolate peppermint cake. And could you bring one to that little girl over there as well? Anonymously, please." The waiter smiled. "Of course. That's very kind of you." Olivia watched as, a few minutes later, the waiter delivered a slice of cake to the surprised little girl, who clapped her hands in delight. The father looked around, confused, and the waiter discreetly pointed in Olivia's direction. The man caught her eye and mouthed "thank you" with a grateful smile. Olivia nodded, feeling a small warmth replace some of the coldness James had left behind. When her own dessert arrived, Olivia was surprised to find she actually had an appetite for it. She was taking her first bite when she sensed someone approaching her table. Looking up, she saw the little girl standing there, her father hovering anxiously a few steps behind. "Thank you for my cake," the child said, her voice clear and sweet. "It's my favorite." You're very welcome, Olivia replied, smiling genuinely for the first time that evening. I thought you might like it. The father stepped forward. I'm so sorry to interrupt your dinner. Emma insisted on thanking you personally. It's no interruption at all, Olivia assured him. I'm Olivia. I'm Noah, he replied. And you've already met Emma. Emma was studying Olivia with the frank curiosity only children possess. Why are you eating all alone on Christmas? Emma. Noah looked mortified. That's not polite. It's okay, Olivia said, laughing despite herself. I was supposed to be having dinner with someone, but he had to leave early. Emma frowned, processing this information. That wasn't very nice of him. No, Olivia agreed, it wasn't. Noah placed a gentle hand on his daughter's shoulder. We should let Olivia enjoy her dessert in peace, Em. But Emma wasn't ready to go. She looked from Olivia to her father and back again, her small face serious. Daddy, can she come sit with us? Nobody should be alone on Christmas Eve. Noah's face flushed. Emma, we can't just invite ourselves to join someone's dinner. Actually, Olivia found herself saying, I'd love some company, if you wouldn't mind. Noah hesitated, clearly torn between social propriety and his daughter's wishes. Are you sure? We don't want to impose. I'm positive, Olivia said, gathering her purse and dessert. Lead the way, Emma. And that was how Olivia found herself spending Christmas Eve with two strangers who somehow felt more like family than any blind date ever had. Noah was a high school English teacher and single father. His wife, Sarah, had died from complications during childbirth, leaving him to raise Emma alone. For the past 5 years, they'd been a team of two, figuring out life together one day at a time. It hasn't been easy, Noah admitted as Emma concentrated on finishing her cake. But we manage. Emma's worth every sleepless night and missed opportunity. She's beautiful, Olivia said, watching the little girl lick frosting from her fork. And very thoughtful, to worry about a stranger being alone. Noah smiled proudly. She has a big heart. Gets that from her mom. As the evening progressed, Olivia found herself sharing stories about her own life, her work with children, her love of hiking, even her disastrous dating history that had culminated in tonight's rejection. He sounds like a jerk, Noah said bluntly. Anyone who can't see your value in 5 minutes isn't worth your time. That's what I keep telling myself, Olivia replied. But sometimes I wonder if there's something wrong with me. Why can't I find someone who wants what I want? And what is it you want? Noah asked, his eyes kind. Olivia considered the question. A partner. A family. A home filled with laughter and love, even when things get hard. Especially when things get hard. Emma, who had been quietly coloring on the children's menu, looked up suddenly. That's what we want too, right, Daddy? Noah's expression softened. Yes, Em. That's exactly what we want. When the check came, Noah insisted on paying for Olivia's dessert, despite her protests. You bought Emma's cake. It's the least I can do. As they prepared to leave, bundling up against the cold December night, Emma tugged on Olivia's coat. Do you have a Christmas tree at your house? I do, Olivia said. A small one. We have a big one, Emma informed her. And lots of presents underneath. Santa's coming tonight. That's wonderful, Olivia said, kneeling down to the child's level. I bet you've been very good this year. Emma nodded solemnly. I have. I asked Santa for a puppy and a new bike and... She lowered her voice to a whisper, a new mom. Noah, who was adjusting Emma's scarf, froze. Emma, we've talked about this. But Emma wasn't deterred. She looked at Olivia with hopeful eyes. Can you be my new mom? You're pretty and nice and you like cake. Olivia felt her heart constrict. She glanced up at Noah, who looked absolutely mortified. "I am so sorry," he said, his face crimson. "Emma, that's not how it works. You can't just ask someone to be your mom." "Why not?" Emma demanded, her lower lip trembling. "I want a mom like my friends have. And I like Olivia." Olivia gently took Emma's small hands in hers. "That's very sweet of you, Emma. I like you too. But your dad is right, people need to spend time together before they become a family." "Then can we spend time together?" Emma asked, undeterred. "You can come see our Christmas tree. And meet my goldfish. His name is Bubbles." Noah looked like he wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole. "Emma, Olivia probably has plans." "Actually," Olivia interrupted, surprising herself, "I don't have any plans tonight. My family lives out of state, and I was just going to head home and watch Christmas movies." Hope flickered across Noah's face before he carefully schooled his expression. "We couldn't ask you to change your plans." "You're not asking. I'm offering." Olivia stood up, suddenly certain this was exactly where she was meant to be. "That is, if you don't mind the company." Emma bounced on her toes excitedly. "Please, Daddy. Please, can Olivia come over?" Noah looked at Olivia, really looked at her, as if seeing her for the first time. "We'd love to have you, if you're sure." And that was how Olivia found herself following Noah's car to a small but charming house in a quiet neighborhood, where a Christmas tree glowed in the front window and a wreath hung on the door. Inside, the home was warm and lived in, with children's artwork on the refrigerator and books stacked on every surface. Emma immediately took Olivia on a tour, proudly showing off her room with its pink walls and stuffed animal collection, the goldfish swimming lazily in his bowl, and finally, the Christmas tree in the living room, decorated with a mix of store-bought ornaments and handmade creations. "This one's from when I was a baby," Emma explained, pointing to a small handprint ornament. "And this one has my mommy's picture in it." Olivia looked at the ornament, a simple silver frame containing a photo of a beautiful woman with Emma's blonde curls and bright smile. "She's watching over us from heaven," Emma said matter-of-factly. "Daddy says she's our Christmas angel." Noah appeared in the doorway, carrying mugs of hot chocolate. "I hope you like marshmallows," he said, handing one to Olivia. "Love them," she replied, accepting the mug gratefully. They settled on the couch, Emma between them, as Noah read The Night Before Christmas from a well-worn copy. Emma's eyes grew heavy as the story progressed, and by the end, she was fast asleep, her head resting against Olivia's arm. "I should probably get her to bed," Noah whispered. "Santa won't come if she's still awake." Olivia nodded, carefully shifting so Noah could lift his daughter. She watched as he carried Emma upstairs, the little girl's arms wrapped trustingly around his neck. When Noah returned, he sat beside Olivia on the couch, close enough that she could smell his cologne, something woodsy and warm.